Let's discuss interviewing sadness and grief. Sadness includes emotion of regret, as when someone regrets a certain action or decision in the past and the mind is constantly turned towards that time. Sadness and grief affect the lungs and heart. In fact, according to this simple question, sadness affects the lungs via the heart. It says in chapter 39, sadness makes the heart cramped and agitated. This pushes towards the lungs, lobes, and upper burner becomes obstructed. Nutritive and defensive qi cannot circulate freely. Heat accumulates and dissolves qi. According to this passage, then sadness primarily affects the heart, and the lungs suffer in consequence because they are both situated in the upper burner. The lungs govern qi and sadness, and grief depletes qi. This is often manifested on the pulse as a weak quality on both left and right front position, the heart and lungs. In particular, the pulse on both front position is short and has no wave. It does not flow smoothly towards the thumb. Other manifestations deriving from sadness and grief includes weak voice, tiredness, pale complexion, slight breathlessness, weeping, and a feeling of oppression in the chest. In women, deficiency of lung qi from sadness or grief often leads to blood deficiency and amenorrhea. Although sadness and grief deplete qi and therefore lead to deficiency of qi, they may also, after a long time, lead to stagnation of qi because the deficient lung and heart qi fails to circulate properly in the chest. As mentioned before, each emotion can affect other organs apart from its specific one. For example, the spiritual axis in chapter 8 mentions injury of the liver from sadness rather than anger. When sadness affects the liver, it injures the ethereal soul. This causes mental confusion. The yin is damaged and the tendons contract, and there is hypochondrial discomfort. This shows how organs can be affected by emotions other than the ones specific to them. In this case, sadness can naturally affect the ethereal soul and therefore liver yin. Sadness has a depleting effect on qi and therefore in some cases depletes liver yin, leading to mental confusion, depression, lack of a sense of direction in life, and inability to plan one's life. Finally, some doctors consider that grief, which is unexpressed and without tears, affect the kidneys. According to them, when grief is held in without weeping, the fluids cannot come out in the form of tears and upset the fluid metabolism with the kidneys. This would happen only in situations in which grief had been felt for many years. For the summary, sadness and grief, they affect the lungs and heart. They deplete qi. In time, they may also lead to stagnation of qi. Sadness also may affect liver blood in women. Unexpressed grief without tears affects the kidneys. Thank you for your attention.